My number one green flag is a man having friends.
Well, studies have shown that men with long-term friends are more loyal, they're more conscientious, and they make better partners.
And better in bed.
I cannot confirm or deny that.
I can.
Welcome back to Ask a Matchmaker. I'm your host, Matchmaker Maria, and this week we are joined again by my co-host, Edson. Welcome back.
Thanks, Maria. Hi.
And on this week's episode, we are talking about friendships. Do you have friends?
Lots of friends.
Well, I have a friend that's here, Aaron Karo.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Okay, but for real, this is a very parasocial relationship that I had, Edson.
Okay, tell me
with
more.
this man. And now we are actual proper friends.
Yes.
You know where this is going, right?
I do know where it's going.
Okay, so Aaron, before you were born.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, that's where we're going. Guess how old he is. He's so young.
Well, now that you said that, I don't know, 17?
16.
So Aaron used to have this newsletter back when he was in college and then post-college with his short-lived finance career, where it was called Ruminations.
Ruminations.
Yeah. Sorry, English is my second language. It was called Ruminations, and it was it weekly?
Should I tell the story?
Yeah.
So I'm one of the first people to ever go viral.
That's true.
When I was a freshman at Penn, I started sending emails to my buddies called Ruminations on College Life, stories about college. It ended up going viral. People started emailing me. I created a mailing list. I wrote it for all 4 years of college. By the time I graduated, 10,000 subscribers around the world, including Maria.
Which, by the way, I don't think you understand what it means to be viral at that time of the internet.
Totally.
Like, we were all disassociated. Maybe we had like a top 7 friends on MySpace.
This was way
before MySpace, too.
But I didn't have a cell phone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you're like
You have to
OG
log in.
Substack.
I invented the blog, Twitter, and Substack in 1997.
Wow.
And so when I was in college, I moved to Greece for college for my bachelor's. And when I had visited once the States, I did not understand some of the things that they were saying to me, my friends. And I was like, I've only been gone for 18 months and you're all using a way different vocabulary than I can comprehend. And because I had missed out, like I wasn't here when The Apprentice aired. I wasn't here when the Kardashians launched.
Sure.
And so I felt like, okay, I'm missing something in like the college culture thing. Red cups, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like that just does not exist in Europe.
Cannot compute.
Right. But I had my own thing. So then someone sent me your newsletter and I read it and I thought it was so funny, but it was also like from a cultural anthropologist perspective, I was like, okay, if I read this, I will understand my friends back in the States. Because I was also at a place where I live too. I was like, I don't understand half the jokes that are being told to me here.
Right.
But I also don't, so I was trying to, so then I followed this newsletter religiously. It would come out every week.
Yep.
And that was the, then it ended. He carried on with his life. The internet happened the way we see it now. And then a couple years ago, someone said something about like kind of frat life in the corporate environment. And I was like, God, this sounds so Aaron Karo coded. And like, so I wrote and I was like, wait, let me tag him. I wasn't following him or anything, but I was like, I wonder if he's on Instagram. Like I just hadn't thought about it, you know? And I put it up and the amount of people who responded back with like, oh my God, A, yes, I agree. And B, you know who Aaron Karo is. And I was like, yeah. And then he's like, what the hell is this?
Who's this random person tagging me?
Wait, I love this.
And I slid into
And
those
then
DMs.
we slid, DM friends. And then I think a year and a half ago, he's like, look, I don't follow anyone I don't know in real life, but I'm going to follow you.
Oh, I forgot about that. I broke my rule.
Yeah.
Hey, we love breaking a rule every now and then.
But then
we couldn't meet during the pandemic.
Right.
So it was like, and then we did properly.
But then I think I told you that gave me motivation for us to meet IRL because I was following you.
Yeah. So then we became
From
make
URL
believe friends to
IRL.
Yeah. We became make believe friends. I had a parasocial relationship with this man. Then we became digital friends, and then we became real life friends. And now you're on the podcast.
Yeah, I love it.
Welcome.
I've always wanted to say this. I don't know. You'll never get this, but I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to anybody?
It makes sense to me.
The hair club for men from like 20 years ago.
He doesn't know what commercials are.
Okay.
I just love Hulu.
I will be on CBS mornings
Yes.
and they show commercials and my
Yeah.
kids are like, "Where is the skip button?"
Oh.
I need a
You know?
skip button, but that's just my age showing, I guess.
Yeah. So, but now that we're talking about friendships,
Yes.
I mean, you're here to talk about friendships. I mean, even your shirt, even your hat says
Yeah.
we should be friends.
Yes.
So,
Was that deliberate?
This is my merch line.
yeah.
So I host a podcast about friendship called Man of the Year. And yeah, we sell merch that says we should be friends. It's also functional because people always come up to you and say, "Oh, what's that?" You start a conversation with them, then you become friends.
I love it.
Yeah.
Have you made any friends like that?
I have.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you're originally from Long Island. You went.
Yes. So I'm a nice Jewish boy from Long Island. Went to Penn, worked on Wall Street, and then made a hard left and moved to LA in 2005, where I'm a screenwriter and author.
Literally hard left because that is the left coast.
Yes, it is a metaphorical and literal hard left.
Going west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm back in New York often because my family is here. So I'm kind of bi-curious, dating-wise.
I love saying this in front of a gay woman.
Bi-coastal.
Go on.
Bi-coastal curious. So I date in both places. Women. In case I wasn't
Thank
clear.
you. Thank you for
Yes.
clearing that up.
Yes.
And do you find a difference in dating when you used to date here, now you date there? Do you find a difference in the dating scene?
And I still date here.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two main differences, New York and LA dating, and that's the logistics and the vibes. Like, Maria's just giving me a face. Like, in New York, like, you pick a restaurant, a bar, then you just, like, meet there, take the subway, walk, whatever, maybe Uber. LA is, like, it's 20 different cities. So, like, if you're somewhere, you're in Silver Lake and they're in Venice, I mean, that's you're in traffic, you're cutting across.
That's international travel.
It's I call it Mad Max Fury Road. Like, you're trying to get to a date. Then it's this parking. And as you know, Maria, I'm a gentleman. I always offer to, can I pick you up? Happy to do that. But I think the most intimate thing you can do in front of a woman is parallel park.
Is she in the car with you?
Yes. Because this is a first date. So we haven't even gone on the date yet. All I've done is picked her up. All she has to judge me on the parallel parking. And I'm like doing my thing. And I'm a good parallel parker. But like if this backup cam is not like calibrated, like I just see our kids disappearing like the picture in Back to the Future. Like I'm backing up. She's like losing interest. And we haven't even done anything yet. So it's very stressful.
Do you pull like one of like the moves where you like put like one hand on the wheel, one hand on the seat, and you're like,
I'm not sure what that move was, and this is an audio podcast, but no, I'm looking at the backup cam, sweating bullets, like hoping, and usually it's
You're
fine.
using a backup cam though.
I know, but I'm saying it's not, it's just like a very intimate thing. Like I say you sleep with them a couple times and then parallel park. The first contact you have with someone is a parallel park. Anyway, the second thing, difference is
The sense of humor is clearly different in the coast.
okay. Literally everybody
Here
laughing.
to find
away.
parking.
Yeah.
I think everyone here parallel parks if they have a car. I think the
Yeah.
sexiest thing you could do in New York is like change 2 trains.
Change 2 trains to get to somebody.
Yeah, that's like, oh, you like that.
So the more pain you have to go to for the
Yeah,
date.
especially if you have to switch on 14th Street and you got or 23rd Street when it's like that 1 mile walk.
Yeah.
It's like, I better like this guy. I better
I had
get
to change
it
at
tonight.
Times Square. That was like my way to transfer.
Switching on the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aaron's
like,
no, I'm just saying, like, I'd kill to go on a date where the worst thing I had to do was change trains. I'm fucking
Yeah.
driving. I have this thing called Parkopedia where you can like, look up the best parking spots for whatever place you're going to because it's fucking chaos. Anyway, and the second thing is the vibes, which I think, Maria, we've talked about. Like, you go on a dating app. People in LA, guys and girls, do not have real jobs. Like, you go on a dating app
He's from LA.
on a Hinge in New York, and it's like, attorney. Like, okay, I know what that is.
It's corporate baddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in LA on Hinge, like it literally are things that it's like recce healer fitness sales. Like it's like woke Mad Libs. Like I don't even know what this job is. Like I literally don't know. And so, I don't think you are what you do, but it is kind of like directional sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I've gone to LA, I see that people have jobs. I don't know if a lot of people have careers. I think they're all unemployed actors.
Do you know everyone's an aspiring something? Like
Yeah.
aspiring actor, aspiring yoga instructor, and aspiring barista. Like everyone's got an aspiration.
Right. They're kind of like Mayor Adams. Like Mayor Adams aspires to be really the mayor of Beverly Hills, who really aspires to be an actor. Or an
Correct.
actress. I don't know what
Correct.
gender they are. I mean, Mayor Adams does not aspire to be the mayor.
No.
Like, that man wants to be a producer.
He's a future reality show star.
Oh, totally. Like, he will be Celebrity Apprentice. Anyway, well, we're here to talk about the friendship recession. So recently I read an article that you were quoted in the New York Times,
Yes.
where they talk about the friendship recession and societal pressures in men. Just a few stats really quick. They were talking about men feeling disconnected, but less than half of men feel satisfied with their number of friends. And then 15% of men report having no close friends, which is apparently a big increase since 1980 or 1990.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about this friendship recession.
Yeah, so basically, just so we understand why I'm talking about it. So I'm part of the world's greatest friendship tradition. I have the same 9 friends from Plainview, Long Island, childhood. And every year on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we all gather at Peter Luger's in Brooklyn. We have an epic Friendsgiving dinner, and we vote on which friend had the best year.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Did you not know that?
sweet.
I do know that, but I'm trying, guys, I'm running a podcast, Aaron.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, wow, you really sold that.
Thank you.
And so this Man of the Year dinner, it's their 21st annual. We have a giant trophy. It's about half the Stanley Cup. You get your name engraved on it if you win Man of the Year. Sorry, we vote for whoever had the best year. And
Do you do PowerPoints now?
this is very lo-fi.
Okay.
Lo-fi. And you keep the trophy for the rest of the year. So it's kept our friendship going strong for decades. And of the 9 guys in the group, 2 of us are comedy writers in LA. So we started a podcast called Man of the Year about male friendship. Help, the comedy, help the sugar helps the medicine go down because men are in crisis. We just had the Surgeon General on.
That's right.
And we are here to help guys make new friends and become better friends.
Why do you think men specifically are struggling to make friends?
Yeah, so it has been sort of socialized out of men to be vulnerable and to be sort of touchy-feely. Like if you think of little kids, the girls and the little boys and little boys are all emotional and whatever, and then eventually the boys get older and see it's not quote cool anymore, and then they just sort of try to become tough guys. Also, men have been socialized to value money, family, have kids, and go, Jim, like I'll fucking call him like in 6 months, like it's fine, he's gonna be there. Then most guys turn around, they're 40, like, oh shit, I haven't seen my friends in like a year, and I have no friends.
Right.
And in fact, our number one incoming email is from women who are married to men who are like, my husband has no friends.
Yeah.
He won't stop bothering me. I need to get him out of the house. Help.
That's actually I feel like one of the biggest dating deal breakers too. I actually tell women, if you are single and dating, you need to ask on first dates, tell me more about your friends.
Wow.
And what I want you to look for is, do they have friends? And how often do they talk to those friends? Even if it's a Zoom call once a month, who are they checking in with? Because I'm sure you've heard this thing where like, oh, women talk more than men or something like that. I feel like the reason why people say that is because a lot of women have social circles that they are checking in with. But also, even if they don't have those social circles, we do have activities that a lot of women participate in that require us to talk, right? We're, if we're doing our nails, if we're getting our hair done, if we're, doing a girls' night, which does not require a male presence whatsoever. This just requires like talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Men also have trouble sort of like making plans, reaching out. We're also trying to get guys to be more vulnerable and tell your buddies that you love them.
I was wondering that actually.
So like my co-host, Matt Ritter, who's my friend since 2nd grade, he struggled with that for a while. So what we say is, instead of I love you, start with thank you. So thank you for the beer. Thank you for the ride. Thank you for being a friend. We say thanks as a gateway emotion. Kind of work your way up to saying I love you.
The face that I just made was like, that's awesome. It's like, yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting because like, I feel like when you kind of hear like when like the straight guy stereotype is very much like no emotion,
Right.
Nothing said at all, stonewalling,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Because I think that like the sort of trope is that tough guys aren't vulnerable, tough guys aren't emotional. I think
For
it's
sure.
kind of the opposite. Like a guy who is in touch with his emotions, a guy who like reaches out to a buddy when they're not doing well.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty tough to me.
So what tips would you give to someone who doesn't have even that, like not just friends. I mean, maybe they have friends, but even just reaching out to check in.
Well, first of all, studies have shown that guys like to be reached out to. So people say, oh, I don't know if I want to text, blah, blah, blah. He's not going to care. He's not going to want to. Yeah, they do. They like it. Either just like sup. Like everybody likes that. So you shouldn't worry about like people not wanting you to reach out. Our number one tip on the podcast is be the friend. Men are very passive when it comes to this. Well, someone will invite me to a party. No one's inviting me to a Knicks game. You get the tickets and you invite somebody. Sometimes Matt, my co-host, will just buy tickets to Pearl Jam, 2 tickets, and he doesn't know who he's going to take. Yeah. And then when he sees someone at a party, he goes, "Do you want to go?"
I love that.
Yeah.
And how about like, how do you make friends?
So there's a few levels of friendship making. Number one, we tell guys, are you sure you actually don't have friends? Oh. Is it possible you just have not spoken to your friends? Because everybody has had friends at one point in their life. So first, take a mental inventory. Are you sure? Do you have friends? Like, what happened to your high school friends? What happened to your college friends? If you haven't talked in a year, they still count as a friend. Right. You just got to reactivate it.
They respond. They're like, they're all lost at sea.
Yeah. Like, because guys, it's easy to catch up with someone you haven't seen in a while, especially for guys. So number one, like, are you sure you don't have any friends? Number two, friends of friends. So especially if you move to a new place, like a lot of our listeners, I just moved to Seattle, I don't know anybody. Well, did you ask the people in the place that you left if they know already in Seattle? No, I don't know. They don't. I'm telling you they do. Right. Send an email to 10 people. Hey, and you use these 2 words. Hey, I just moved to Seattle. Know anyone? Right. Only one person has to respond with one warm lead.
But what is a good, so for those people that are introducing, what is a good suggestion of a lead?
Meaning?
I'm just thinking about how like sometimes people will move to New York City. This actually happened to me recently. And they didn't ask me if I want to be introduced to their friend. I believe in the double opt-in.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they're like, Maria, meet my friend Cynthia. She needs friends. I figured you could take her around the city. And I'm like, I don't live in the city. I don't know. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, like, so I don't, did you ask me if I want to make new friends? Like,
so we call that DTF, down to friend. Oh, okay. You need to make sure that they're down for that. By the way, could we take a quick side note on the double opt-in? I am the pope of the double opt-in.
Oh, you agree with me?
On friend making, but also on dating, I will get set up unilaterally. And I'm like, I didn't consent to this. Right. And then they get mad at me. Well, why didn't you text her? I'm like, you didn't give me new information. Right. I'm all about double opt-in. People make fun of me. They're like, I'm just trying to, help.
Do you know what a double opt-in is?
No, I'm fascinated by this.
Okay, so basically. How old are you?
16.
I mean, you have great skin.
Thank you.
So the double opt-in is basically like, let's say I wanted to introduce you to Aaron, right? So what I would do is, first of all, you tell me like, Maria, I want to meet Aaron. Great. Let me ask Aaron first. Aaron, Edson would like to meet you. How do you feel? Like, and he'd say, oh yeah, do it. Then I'd be like, okay, great.
Right.
And like this actually happened right now with my accountant. One of my girlfriends was like, I want to meet your accountant. Let me ask my accountant first. Oh, sure. If she's open to an introduction.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it works B2B too.
It's kind of like knocking on the door, basically.
Yeah. I'm not going to just blind introduce someone to my lawyer or my accountant. They might be busy and I need them to concentrate on my shit. So, it's the same thing. And so for me, even as a matchmaker, I get really frustrated when my friends who have not price prepped their friends of like the services that I do, they have not told them anything. No one's Googled me. Like they're just like, oh, Maria. And then they think it's a side hustle. And I'm like, no. Like double opt-in,
It's strange. People do very thoughtful things very thoughtlessly.
Ooh.
Like setting someone up is actually a very thoughtful thing. I want you. Maria's about to cry.
No, we just like we're
having a connection. Here
that was awesome.
That was beautiful.
Get that tattooed on your chest immediately.
Because so setting someone up or introducing someone to a friend is a very nice, kind thing.
Yeah.
And so you're halfway to doing the thing, just a little bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I would have, if she had asked me, I would have said, I'm not available, but I know other people that want to make friends. Tell me more about your friend and I'll introduce them. I'll do my friendship matchmaking all day. But like, I know what my limits are in friends right now.
So to answer your question, if someone reaches out to you, hey, do you know one in Seattle? You know someone, you're going to hit that one up, make sure they're DTF. Yeah, I am DTF. And then you say, hey, meet my friend Bobby. And then send them on a mandate. Something simple.
What's a mandate?
So a mandate is just 2 platonic dudes hanging out. Men tend to socialize shoulder to shoulder. shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder, watching a game, watching a movie where women tend to socialize facing each other.
Yeah.
On a first man date, it's okay. Like, go watch a game, do whatever. Just get in the same room as the other guy and see if you hit it off.
I'd really like to see a show of mandates being set up, but instead of like the typical, instead of the typical like, oh, let's go to the bar and watch a show.
There's an activity.
You take them to an Ethiopian restaurant and they're like, eating with their hands,
Yeah,
What
I'm
would
working
be?
on it.
What's your ideal mandate?
Ooh, that's a great question. So number one, like I don't want guys to overthink it too much.
For sure.
But I do like to do something that I really enjoy because then you shine from within. Like if you think the other guy loves playing pickup soccer and you're not an athlete and you're going to show up because you want to meet this guy, you're going to look silly and you're going to feel silly. So if you're like, hey man, we should go to the art museum. I was an art major and like the guy's cool with it. Then you're going to be you're going to be glowing. It's going to be great. Because that also dovetails when you're meeting. So we have 4 levels of friend making: friends you already have, friends of friends, fringe friends, which is for another podcast is your coworker, your neighbor, someone you're already in your orbit. And the 4th level, which is the hardest one, is total fucking strangers. And total fucking strangers, we say you can meet at your 3rd place, which in the 3rd place is first place is home, 2nd place is work. 3rd place is anywhere you go besides home or work where people socialize: dog park, church, bar, school, not school really,
bistro,
coffee shop. Place is coffee shop. So you want to pick a 3rd place that you like being.
Yeah,
like the gym is my 3rd place.
Oh,
like,
wow.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because I like working out. So like I'm in my, I'm exuding like good vibes at the gym. So people want to talk to you.
What's your perspective on this as a gay person?
You're gay?
Surprise! Gay and 16.
Just how I like them.
My perspective on this is I like totally relate to that. It's interesting because like for me, I see a lot of gay men, a lot of gay people like want to go to a bar. Like that is like the classic like
not the gym.
Friend date. I love going to the gym and I love asking people to go to the gym with me. Even if they don't like working out, I'm just like, let's do this activity that like has us not just sitting and like, in this like hypersexualized environment. Because with gay men specifically, there's always that like tinge of like, are you hitting on me?
I'm sorry, you think the gym is not a hypersexualized environment?
For me, because I am too focused. Pickleball is,
yeah
exactly.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, I like kind of going into like a space that is not like typical or like not expected for like where gay men would hang out, like a bar or like a party, like doing like an activity, kind of like you said, of like, what if we went like to go like smash plates or like to like
plates.
Something like
he said
that.
Plates. I didn't know what he was going to say there. Yeah.
But like, those unconventional like places to hang out. Like, I think that is like what I look for like with gay friends too, because I don't want to be going to a bar all the time. I want to get to know somebody.
But in terms of like, from your perspective, right? I feel like I used to see this when my matchmaking service used to also do gay and lesbian matchmaking.
Oh, okay.
And now we are referral partners with gay matchmakers, with lesbian matchmakers who take everyone across the spectrum of LGBTQAI. And because they're better.
It's IA,
more
isn't it?
Oh, guys, I'm trying. Okay. Anyway, so the one thing I realized is that lesbian matchmaking was a lot of fun and pretty easy in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Gay matchmaking was really hard because they were so social. Like they had, the community is so social within itself. It's built for friendship. And I think a lot of straight men don't have access to a social circle.
Yeah.
Like subcultures you will see have social circles, right? Like I'm Greek American, you're Long Island Jewish American. I don't know.
See where she was going with that.
Yeah. But like there's like certain, like there's like synagogues, right? And they have community centers in, your local JCC.
Yeah.
Right? That is a subculture in itself. And so when you have that built-in social club that has different activities, you are able to make friends in your community that you can then actively see. Like I go to church every Sunday, not because I'm necessarily religious, but because I get to see my best friends every Sunday for like 1 hour during coffee hour. Like that's literally my motivation for that.
Do you have a lot of straight friends?
I don't. That's actually the fascinating thing.
Hey, it's us.
Yeah.
Straight besties.
So I'm sorry.
Oh no. That's it.
So we had a Pride episode where we interviewed some of our gay and lesbian friends, and we had this incredible moment where we were saying, the straights were saying that like we think the gays like rage, like party like we've never seen, and then they said that they have what they call straights gone wild. Which is like when they get invited to a straight party, like, oh, straights gone wild.
Literally.
Where they think we go crazy.
That's 100% right.
Yeah.
That's Halloween, right? Like Halloween to me is straight Pride Day.
Straight Pride Day, I will go one up and say SantaCon.
Oh, SantaCon. When is that this year? I don't want to be. Is that happening this week?
I flee the country. Okay.
I'm like, okay. Well, where can people learn more about, I know you have your Man of the Year podcast.
Yeah, so manoftheyearpodcast.com, and it's Aaron Karo, Aaron Karo, Instagram. Well, I just want to say you do now have a straight friend.
Oh. Guys, I'm going to start crying.
And that's
how you do it.
That is how you do it.
That's how you do it.
So now you'll check in with each other. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Hey, I like a check-in.
I
love a check-in.
I gotta say, I will say, as someone who is IRL friends with Aaron, and we're clearly, I actually will say that Aaron is one of the few male friends that I have.
Whoa!
I genuinely mean that. Like I have some male friends with the people that I grew up with.
It's weird to be married.
A lot of people that are my male friends are my husband's friends.
Right. Like, it's weird to be friends with a single guy.
I was telling my husband about you last night because he's like, who are you recording with? And I'm like, well, Aaron's coming in and then we're going to go to his show with Lucinda. And he's like, who's Aaron? And I go, Aaron, Aaron.
And from afar you hear Aaron going, Aaron, not Aaron.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. Because that's how he learned about the name too. English is his second language.
I will say that, you tagged me and then I slid into your DMs and it's created a beautiful relationship. So, DM slides, it works.
They do work.
They do work.
Speaking of doing thoughtful things thoughtlessly,
what did I do?
No, you did nothing. You were great.
What did I do?
You were great too. The last time I think maybe I was together with you. I think you posted something about on Instagram about me, and I got a lot of DM slides from the ladies, which is good. But many of them have a private profile.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, what are you expecting?
What is the
here?
Point here?
Yeah.
I will say
that.
this now.
Okay.
If they're private, what I do is I go on LinkedIn.
Sweet.
And I look at their profile photo because it's better quality than their Instagram photo. Is that crazy?
That's so gay. Because let me tell you, the one thing I have learned as a matchmaker for 15 years is that straight men, they hate a LinkedIn photo. Every guy I've ever shown, I'm like, well, here's her LinkedIn photo. He's like, I don't want to meet her.
That is so
But
funny.
if they look good on LinkedIn, then they look good.
They're usually married.
Yeah. You don't strike me as a LinkedIn type of guy.
I have a lot of secrets.
He works in tech
I
during
work
the
in
day.
tech.
Okay. I thought you were a comedian.
I am a comedian and I work in tech.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Aaron, it was amazing having you on this week.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here, friend. And Edson, I'm so happy you made a friend.
I'm happy too.
A straight friend.
A straight friend.
Yeah.
My first.
We are all winners.
Straight's gone wild.
Straight's gone wild.
That was our show for this week. I actually have a really special announcement. If you want to make friends, just completely brand new friends, we have 2 retreats coming out next year, and they're currently open for registration. So if you're a woman, we have our flagship women's retreat to Paros, which is an island in Greece. You could be that girl next year. We also have our co-ed retreat that's happening in Crete in the month of May. So check it out. There's a link in the show notes. You get to make friends through adventure. It is so much fun. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Edson will be joining us again next week. Aaron will be leaving for the left coast quite soon, but you can definitely check him out by following him on Instagram and apparently LinkedIn.
I am on LinkedIn as well.
Yeah.
Love.
And I have a good picture too.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. And if you're into ratings, 5-star only, thank you so much. Be lovable, but more importantly, be likable. See you next week.